I think that it'll be a very physical game. Texas, of course, is a fine football team, and it's probably the most physical team we've played in quite a while, and for certain this year. So I think it'll be a very physical, hard-hitting game.
I'm sure you're looking forward to it.
Very much. I think the loss of Tennessee set us back a little bit, but gave us a little bit to shoot for down here. I think that everybody wants to perform well and give a good account of themselves down here.
Texas and Pennsylvania, I think, are the most productive states in high school players, so it's fitting, and I think it'd be the best game. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about that, but I do know that Texas and Pennsylvania do produce some of the better football players in the country every year, and you learn most of your football when you're younger, and so I'm sure this will have some kind of bearing on the game.
Who will you be playing against?
I'm not exactly sure. His number's 31 now. He's a good ball player. He's not real big, but he's very quick, and I'm sure I'll be in for a rough afternoon.
Will there be something going for you fellows next Saturday representing the East after all of the, although in good-natured fun, all of the flack that's gone on between Penn State and Texas and the areas?
I suppose in a sense we will be, but I don't think we really see ourselves as a crusader for the East. We, of course, want to win, and I think we want to do it mostly for ourselves and the people involved in our program. I don't think we're really carrying the banner. If we won, I'm sure it would help, Eastern football quite a bit.
Bob, do you feel being an ex-quarterback helps you at the tight end?
Yeah, I mean, when I first started, I think it did, because I knew the pass patterns, and all I had to do is learn how to block and how to learn how to run them. It really did help me, I think.
Does Huffnagel go to his tight ends very often?
Well, this year I was a leading receiver. I caught 30 passes, and I think the next person who was in line was 12. So it's this year. This year I don't know why. It just seems that we went to the tight end more.
What luck did you have personally against TCU?
TCU, I think I caught 5 passes for 110 yards, and that was about it. That was my highest game. That was my best game this season, except for Tennessee, which I caught 6, which we lost anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Could you explain a little bit about the Tennessee game? You played a good game, but just those turnovers were there, weren't they?
Yeah, I think if we wouldn't have had so many turnovers, I mean, we had a bad day, and Tennessee was a good team, but I think if we would have played up to par like we did against the other teams, I think we could have given them a better run than we did.
What are your personal feelings about playing Texas?
Texas, I think, it's going to be a good game. I think they're a great team. It's national recognition now that they have, and just to beat Texas, just to play against Texas is just a great honor, I think.
Well, I never compare teams. I don't think it's fair that the team, what you give to one, you take away from the other. So I've been reluctant to compare with them. They're a good football team, this team, but I think they've got to do something big before you can rate them with a couple of the other clubs we've had.
Would you say beating Texas then would be something big?
Well, I think that would. Yeah, I think if they could do a good job against Texas, well, then I think we could talk about them being a good football team.
You could break the team apart. For example, what are your thoughts on Lydell Mitchell as a running back?
Well, I think Lydell's a great running back. He's played outstanding football for us. He's been a real leader. I don't think we've ever had a running back who's had a better season for us in the 22 years I've been at Penn State. I just think he's a great runner.
And Franco Harris?
Well, Harris has been bothered by a lot of injuries. He's had nagging pains. He had bruised ribs. He had a pulled hamstring. But when he's healthy, he's a very explosive runner. He just hasn't had the chance to get the timing and to get in the groove this year as he had in previous years. But I'm hopeful if he can have a good week of practice, he might be able to play well against Texas.
Do you feel there will be any sort of rivalry between the East and the Southwest in this game?
I don't really think there'll be any on our part. People say, well, you're coming down for revenge, and I don't know what they're talking about, revenge. This is the second time we've been invited to the Cotton Bowl, and I think that's pretty nice of you folks.
To the untrained eye, you might think I was standing next to a 55 Chevy station wagon with a top cut off and a bunch of wood nailed on it. Actually, this is the basis for some of those beautiful floats that you see every year in the Cotton Bowl Parade in Dallas. Floats like this one. The 1971 edition of the Cotton Bowl Parade in Dallas will be televised nationally. Everyone will see it from New York to California. The floats themselves are fascinating the way they're put together. This is one of the 20 floats which is appearing, and it's being put together by the Mid-Continent Exhibition president, Tom McNamara. Tom, what does a float like this cost?
Well, these floats will run from $6,000 to $10,000.
What kind of time are you talking about in order to put something like this together?
We're talking 350 to 450 man-hours.
Now, are you going to have this float put together by the time for the parade, January 1st?
Yes, we'll have it finished tomorrow night, 5 o'clock.
That's fantastic. This particular float we're looking at here is a little bit unusual. What in particular, for one thing, it looks like it's made out of a bunch of cans.
Yes, true. Everything that you see on this float is all aluminum. It is designed to tie in with the theme, the world of entertainment, as well as put the story across of recycling aluminum.
You've got, how many cans would you estimate are going into this thing?
3,000 cans, aluminum cans on this float.
Fantastic. One of the 20 that you will see, 20 or so I should say, that'll be in the 1971 edition of the Cotton Bowl Parade in Dallas. Malcolm Landers at the State Fairgrounds for Channel 8 News on the Move.
Yes, well, this is the only, he doesn't actually acknowledge mail. This is the only hint I have that he possibly received this letter with this quote, but it was 2 years ago.
Does he have a picture of your son? Have you sent him a picture of your son?
He acknowledged last year when I heard from him for the first time that he had seen a picture of him, but he doesn't actually mention pictures.
These letters were sent, he wrote them prior to Christmas. Did he say anything about looking forward to Christmas or the New Year, what was going through his mind?
He talks about having he wrote me an anniversary letter because we were married 10 years this November, and he wrote me another beautiful letter, and he said that next year he hoped that we'd be together.
Okay. All those prayers are with you that you will find your son Nathan alive. Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, we certainly experiencing a large help in this, and being a Christian, we have felt his presence with us as never before in our lives, as we've known thousands of people there in the States are behind us too, as well as here in Peru. We feel that everything humanly possible is being done, and we're confident that what does happen, this is a large will. Over.